Stay at Charlie.
I just parachuted down at Alpha from the AC-130, so I'll just try
Okay,
to...
well, you cap Alpha then.
It'll be a nice distraction if... Oh my god, what is...
Okay, I think Charlie is secure. We're taking fire from the west. Enemies heading from the north.
Wow.
One more on Echo.
What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing you yet another Battlefield 4 gameplay. Now, this time I'm continuing my look at post-patch weapons. Now, the series is primarily focusing on the changes to the infantry weapons. There were some changes done to certain vehicle weapons. The 25mm explosive rounds on the scout choppers, as well as some of the machine guns in the secondary passenger seats for certain MBTs and the APCs. But I also wanted to look at the things in the game that are laser or wire guided, like the tow missile here as I pull off a crazy shot on a chopper. This was the first time I ever killed a chopper with the tow missile, and it was this point that I realized something is different. I noticed in rounds previously that I was able to kill people a little easier with the SRAWs, especially with the when they're in vehicles, and it was this point, using the tow launcher, I was like, man, this thing just feels more responsive. And I looked at the stats. They haven't actually done any actual changes to the tow or the SRAW. It hasn't had any damage changes or velocity changes or anything like that. But the things that happened with the game, with its netcode, these things seem like they track better. They're a little bit more responsive. Now, you'll notice here with the tow missile, their velocities are still very low. You're gonna notice a few times where I shoot at something and the boats just barely get, or break the line of sight and get around an island, and I can't get them. But the ability for me to use this, I have almost no tow missiles kills before the patch. And see, here's one of the cases where a boat just gets away. But after the patch, I mean, this round, I end up doing really, really well, score-wise, KD-wise, and I spent a good chunk of my time just messing around on this tow missile, and I don't know if it's just this one being in a very amazing location. I mean, Charlie, so much goes on at this intersection here. I mean, Charlie, that's the one that controls the AC-130, so it's a very contested location. Often people want it because they don't want to be getting shot at by the AC-130. But it's also the pass-through of just so many vehicles, and also this this T intersection directly in front of me there is another very high-trafficked location. And I mean, taking guys out as the gunners of rib boats, I did this multiple times. It just seems a little easier. I don't actually have to aim for the rib. I can actually go for the rib boat. And here I use a common SRAW tactic, which is curling the bullet or the rocket around a rock. And while I don't get a hit, it's still the fact that it curled so quickly. It just felt so much more responsive that it's a legit thing now. They haven't changed the reload times, though, of course, as you're tracking targets, the reload does happen. It doesn't start reloading once you hit the target. That would horribly suck. So as you are launching, that's one of the perks that the tow has over the SRAW, is that the SRAW, you've got to wait till you reload, or you've got to wait till you hit the target, then you can reload. So the tow can reload as you're tracking your target, so you can actually get a pretty quick output of rounds. That by the time you actually hit the target, if they're way off in the distance, you've actually loaded in a whole new round and can go ahead and start launching off another volley of tow missiles. So basically, they're just a very legit tac. Now, I don't know if they're very handy against tanks. I have not used them against MBTs or APCs. I really don't even know if the tow missiles are all that common on maps. I mean, pre-patch, I just didn't like them. I found that they reloaded a little too slow for my liking, and the velocity, just I would always miss my targets. But now, against these boats, again, it might just be because they're boats. It might just be because of the amazing position of that one tow missile on this map. But it just, again, in general, I've noticed a little bit better connection with my SRAWs, unless stupid trees like that get in the way. But when the tree doesn't get in the way, look at that. I hit that guy even while taking cover. They just seem to connect a little bit more. And so yeah, damage model stayed the same. Splash damage hasn't changed. Bullet velocity hasn't changed. But because of the slightly improved netcode and performance, I'm getting a little, you know, better kill potential, I guess you could say, from this. So guys, if you stuck with SMAWs and RPG, there I just got unlucky with that rock sticking up. But yeah, if you guys have been sticking with the RPG-7 and the SMAW, especially the LAW, since it received a slight nerf, I still feel the LAW reloads way too fast. I think it needs to be nerfed. But it did receive a nerf to the range in which it will auto-lock on to targets, to things like MBTs and whatnot. Then give the SRAW, unless you get this rubber banding, give the SRAW a chance, because now it seems like it might just be a little bit easier to get a kill. And I finished this round off with a pretty chaotic mad dash into the bunker. And sadly, we did lose this round, but you'll see here in just a bit that my KD ended up being pretty respectable. And again, a large majority of these kills in this is all footage from one round, a large majority, but maybe not a large majority, but probably around half of my kills were due to SRAW and tow missiles alone. There was a part where I was in the AC-130, and as you see there at the end of this round, and there was a couple times, more than a couple, a few times throughout the round that I did get some P90 kills, but probably around half of my kills were tow missile and SRAW. This is by far the most kills I've ever gotten in a single round with the tow missile, and it's probably up there with the SRAWs. Not the highest. I've still gotten a lot of good SRAW kills in previous rounds, but there you go. I end up going 59 and 18, which is quite maddening. So guys, check these out post-patch. They're pretty darn effective. Hope you've enjoyed all of this. Have a good one. Ta-ta.